Today, in early November, we're going to talk about splendid sasanquas, and I strongly recommend this book, produced by the International Camellia Society and now distributed by the Rhododendron Camellia and Magnolia Group. November is full of beautiful camellias, many of which are scented, and we're just going to look at them very quickly to show you the range and versatility of them. This is Camellia sasanqua Variegata, sometimes known as rainbow variegated, and the rainbow effect obviously comes largely from the variegations in the leaves. The flowers are single white with blobs of pink, and it makes the flowers make a nice contrast to the leaves. This was bred in Germany in 2008, so it's quite a new introduction. Now an old favourite, Camellia sasanqua Narumigata, bred in Japan in 1898. Huge white flower, strongly scented, and you can tell it's strongly scented because every flower contains a wasp, which is only just still alive, and some flowers over there contain 2 or 3 wasps in each one. Nice pink buds, long flowering season, utterly dependable, utterly reliable, but there are many more different coloured sasanquas to look at quickly now. This is Camellia sasanqua Setsugekka, which also was introduced or bred in Japan in 1898. It's slightly semi-double, which is more apparent in the flower as it opens, but as you can see, these flowers open out flat and they're a pure white. Just perhaps a little hint of pink on the very edge of 1 or 2 of the petals, but a long established variety and a very good flower. Now a different colour and a rather more modern variety. This one was raised in Japan in 1950 and has a peculiar name, Showa-no-Sakae. I probably haven't pronounced that right, and I certainly don't know what it means, but what a pretty little thing it is, flowering away in November. Right behind it, Camellia sasanqua Sekiyō. Nice red in bud, semi-double again, and just opening out nice and flat so you can see it all properly. Different colour again, red to start with, darker pink to finish. Camellia sasanqua Sparkling Burgundy, which starts a sort of reddish pink and then fades to a semi-double pink. Some flowers are a bit variable in shape and size, but as you can see, it's more or less sparkled onto the ground already in early November. Sparkling Burgundy is one of the first of the sasanquas to flower and really does brighten up the garden. Sparkling Burgundy was bred in America in 1950, and here is another single pink called Camellia sasanqua Hugh Evans. This was bred in America in 1943, and rather like Sparkling Burgundy, the best has gone over. Again, slightly darker when it first comes out and fading to a lighter pink. But this bush probably dates from the 1950s and is therefore 60 or 70 years old. And what a show it's been for the last 3 or 4 weeks. This is another highly scented one, bred in Australia by E.G. Waterhouse in 1948. This is Camellia sasanqua Plantation Pink, one of the most scented varieties, and it's recently been awarded an Award of Garden Merit by the RHS, which means it's one of about 110, 120 camellias which have been singled out as being particularly fine in gardens and well worth growing on a larger scale. And you can't smell what I'm smelling, but I can assure you it's well worth the effort. And again, the wasps are enjoying themselves in the middle of it. Camellia sasanqua Early Pearly, which is a pure white double, and as its name implies, it's one of the first to be out, although this year this one's only just starting. But a very beautiful flower, and this was a plant that was given to us as a cutting by Tregothlan Gardens and Lord Falmouth, and in a relatively few years it's doing very well. Here is one which isn't a pure sasanqua, but it has sasanqua in its parentage. This is Camellia Snow Flurry, which was bred in Australia, and it's a peony form, sort of semi-double. Really nice floriferous plant. This has been in the ground for about 7 years, made a really nice bush, and just to prove how many flowers there have been on this tree, just look at the amount of flower that's been knocked off by the overnight rain. Quite a spectacular thing. Snow Flurry. Camellia sasanqua Dazzler, another one that starts darker and fades to pinker. Again, it's been a bit bashed around by the rain, but a nice semi-double, gorgeous in bud and very floriferous. This is Camellia sasanqua Elfin Rose, semi-double, and as we've seen, starting darker and then fading to a light pink. Pretty little thing. It's only been in the ground 4 years and is already flowering beautifully. We haven't yet seen a pure red, and this is a semi-double one, Camellia sasanqua Bonanza. The reds seem to be a little bit later to come into flower, but they'll certainly be out by the time we get to mid-November. Camellia sasanqua Versicolor, and you can see that the backs of the petals are pink, a little tinge of pink on the front, but basically opening to a white flower. Very floriferous and rather an attractive little thing, again only 4 or 5 years old and absolutely covered in flower as we now get into a bit of sunlight. So we've looked at just over a dozen varieties of Camellia sasanqua and its allies today. We've covered quite a distance in the garden to do so, but it's been a joy. If any of these varieties take your fancy, they're all available from Burncoose Nurseries. If you don't see them online just yet, it's because some of the newer varieties are still in production and we may not put them live on the website until the new catalogue emerges on the 1st of January. The new catalogue on the website will be changed and updated on that date, but you can always indicate a pre-order online if you so wish. It's remarkable how much pleasure and excitement the sasanqua season creates in a woodland garden, and it's one that you too could enjoy very simply by getting 3 or 4 different varieties and kicking off with something new and different.